其实西方的很多年轻世代对这件事情跟大家想象的西方并不一样，很多 young generation 西方年轻的世代并不支持以色列现在对加萨的攻击，也不支持以色列长期的再占领巴勒斯坦人的土地。于是牛津大学就举办了一场辩论会，出席这个辩论会的是美国非常著名的犹太裔的右派评论员，叫 Ben Shapiro， 他口才太好了。然后呢，他在牛津大学的所有的辩论过程当中提出了他的观点，我们今天为大家整理，让大家知道这些极右派的人是怎么样看事情。美国的极右派，这些保守的犹太极右派，我不指所有的犹太人是怎么看事情，如何回答外界对他们的质疑。而这些年轻人，他们的整个辩论的口才远远不如 Shapiro， 但是他们提出了他们的关怀。
10月30日，有200年历史的英国牛津大学辩论社请来了美国右翼保守派评论员班夏皮罗。他出生在加州一个保守的犹太家庭，曾是右翼媒体布莱巴特新闻网的记者。他仇视跨性别者，仇视同性恋，被认为是种族主义者。整场辩论中，他以坚定却不见得是事实的话语，将同情巴勒斯坦的学生一一击退。
This isn't a conflict. This is one-sided ethnic cleansing.
Again, I'm just asking you, if based on the numbers, more Germans died than Brits in World War II, did that mean that the British were wrong in World War II? Because they did. Many more Germans died than Brits. Based on the numbers, does that mean that Britain was wrong in World War II?
Britain wasn't bombing civilians. There's a clear difference.
You should talk to the people in Dresden, but you can't because they're dead.
在极右派犹太复国主义者为自己的辩才无碍而沾沾自喜的同时，失去的是年轻一代对以色列的支持。
If your entire argument once again is predicated on terror groups, what response do you have about the Great March of Return, which is a very well-documented incident where peacefully Palestinian civilians just marched to their own land that they have a right to go and return to, but they were killed, shot at, and murdered in cold blood?
What year are we talking about? Which group are we talking about? I need more specificity.
So quick facts about the Great March of Return. So far, there's been 7,900 injured, according to the Gaza Health Ministry, and 47 dead. Amongst the 47 dead, there are 2 journalists, 5 children, and 2 disabled men. And the injuries, the thousands of injuries, range from rubber bullets to live ammunition and tear gas.
I encourage you to Google about the Great March of Return, which was a peaceful resistance against a wrongful occupation of Palestine. Even if you were to buy what you were
Can you just define wrongful occupation? Which part of Palestine is occupied?
You're not answering my question.
I mean, I'd like you to answer mine.
The Jews in the region accepted this plan and declared independence as a state of Israel. But the Arab states in the region saw this plan as just more European colonialism. They didn't accept the plan and instead declared war on Israel. Israel won the war, pushing well past the borders of the UN plan. But the rest of the world did not approve of this. The UN issued a resolution saying that the settlements had no legal validity and that they constitute a serious obstruction to achieving a comprehensive, just, and lasting peace in the Middle East.
Which part of Israel is occupied Palestine?
All of Israel?
There we go. There we go. There we go. So what you're calling for is the obliteration of the state of Israel, and all of this is just a cover for that. I appreciate your time.
If Israel is justified in killing civilians because of the acts of terror committed by Hamas, why isn't Hamas justified in doing what it did? Because Israel is keeping 13,000 children. It has tried them in military courts. Since the establishment of Israel, 55,000 Palestinian homes have been bulldozed. So why isn't Hamas justified in doing what it did if we use your logic?
So I'm going to answer your question, then I'm going to ask you a question if you don't mind. Is that all right? So my answer is that Israel would not be justified in killing Palestinian civilians because of the actions of terrorists. Israel would be justified in attempting to kill terrorists, and civilian casualties are a cost of war. That is just a reality of life. During World War II, there were 70,000 Brits who died during the Blitz bombing, and there were 2 million Germans who died, civilians who died during World War II. And I don't see a lot of monuments in Britain because of the 2 million civilians who died in Germany. The costs of war are brutal, they're terrible, they're horrifying. There's a vast difference in moral scope between deliberately going into a civilian area and murdering everyone you can find and trying to kill a terrorist who is deliberately hiding beneath a civilian area, hiding their rockets in civilian areas, starving their own people. There is a vast difference. Okay, so now I get to ask my question, if you don't mind. So my question is, do you believe that there is a moral difference between Hamas going into, for example, Kfar Aza and murdering entire families, and Israel attempting to target terrorists and accidentally hitting civilians?
Israel is effectively doing the same because Gaza is the most densely populated region in the world. There are 15,000 people per square mile.
So does Hamas get immunity because they're there? So Hamas gets immunity.
So Israel has killed 3,500 children in the past 3 weeks. That's more children. That's more children than have died in conflicts around the world in each of the last 4 years.
So just to be clear, your logic is that if you're a terrorist group located in a densely populated community and you hide behind civilians, you are now immune.
Where are the children meant to go?
So you're immune. Okay. That's a violation of the Geneva Conventions, but okay.
They were war crimes, as is the continued holding of hostages. The collective punishment by Israel of Palestinian civilians is also a war crime.
Israel does not purposefully kill civilians. Palestinian terrorists do.
Israel has not purposefully killed civilians. Are you willing to stand by that statement?
If Israel put down its guns tomorrow, there would be a second Holocaust. If the Palestinians put down their guns tomorrow, there would be a Palestinian state. That is the reality. And let me ask you this.
There would not be a Palestinian
settlement. I'm going to ask you. I'm just going to ask you the last question. The same question I asked her. Which part of Palestine is occupied?
The entirety of Palestine. But I'm not calling for the destruction of Jews.
I appreciate you expressing your full genocidal intent for the Jewish people living between the river.
Why is it genocidal to call for a state that is not apartheid? You can have a state where all citizens have equal rights, Jews and Muslims.
I'm sure that's going to go amazingly
That's not genocidal.
under the same people who are governing the Gaza Strip, where currently 0 Jews live.
以色列不了解80年前犹太人在集中营的遭遇，已经因为以色列总理纳坦雅胡激进疯狂的加萨战争，尤其此次不成比例的复仇行动，耗尽了世界大多数国家，包括西方国家年轻世代的同情。哈佛大学美国政治研究中心10月中的一份民调结果，虽然有高达76%的美国人不认为以色列常年的不公平对待能合理化哈马斯杀害1200名以色列人的行为，但令人惊讶的是，18岁到24岁以及25岁到34岁这2个区间的美国人，有将近半数认为以色列的常年欺压使得哈马斯发动屠杀是合理的，反映出美国年轻世代对以色列负面观感的急速倾斜。以色列或许可以不在乎美国年轻人的观感，而这些会同情巴勒斯坦人民遭遇的年轻世代，几乎都是民主党的支持者。只剩不到1年总统任期的拜登，在讨好犹太金主同时，正在一个一个的失去他的年轻人以及民主党反战运动支持者的选票。